Alright, just making a video of some games I've gotten recently. Done with my grad school class and still working full time. So I've had maybe like a week of my evenings are a little bit more freedom, and so I've gotten some more time to play some games, and I've gotten some games the last 2 weeks. Just wanted to show what I got. At a flea market, I went to a game store that's inside like a building, and it's always there. Usually try to stay away from these, but I've been going to this one probably. I've been to it like maybe 3 or 4 times. Nice to just carry on a conversation with some of these guys, because it's hard to find people that know what they're talking about games, and it's nice to reminisce about old games. And well, they had some games, just like some filler titles that were cheaper. I got Rayman for $2. Very similar to the PlayStation 1 game, side-scrolling platform for the Game Boy Color. And I've been watching like videos on YouTube of Smash TV. I remember playing this when I was younger, and I got this for $3. Really awesome game. Just really cool if you could play with 2 players. I tried playing with my fiance, but she doesn't really like it. She's more of like she likes puzzle games and more simpler, slower games. But this is pretty fast-paced, so I'm looking for the Super Nintendo version too. But I got that for $3, and not a major steal, but it is still a very good game for $3. And then at a yard sale, I'm starting to find 360 games, which is surprising. But I got 4 360 games for $15, so less than $4 a piece, which is pretty good. I know that Call of Duty World at War and Halo Wars is a pretty good price for less than $4. Call of Duty 2 and Medal of Honor Airborne, about average price. I mean, I would never pay more than $5 for these two, but for all of them for $15 is pretty good. I think they all come with manuals, and they're all good. Actually, I think one of them doesn't come with a manual, but I didn't have any of these games, and it was really surprising. This was a case where I went to maybe 2 yard sales that had advertised games, and when I got there, they were gone. And I mean, I was beaten by like a half an hour, and it just was a matter of me showing up at the right time, but people showed up before the advertised time. But anyway, when I was coming back, I saw a sign posted for another yard sale that wasn't there when I drove past before, and so I just randomly checked. Oftentimes, I usually have the worst luck when I just randomly search at random yard sales, but this time I ran into a guy that probably like in his early 30s. He had a bunch of DVDs, like I'm talking 3 big boxes filled with DVDs, where he's just trying to get rid of his collection. And I asked him if he had any games, and he's like, yeah, sure, I got some old Xbox games. And so I was expecting him to bring out old original Xbox games, but he brought these out, and he brought out maybe 4 other 360 games, and so I was expecting nothing great, but I mean, these are all good games that I've played. I played Medal of Honor Airborne, I played Call of Duty 2 all the way through, I beat that, and I've played Call of Duty World at War, beat that with a friend. So I mean, I've played them all, but it's nice to have them. Never played Halo World Wars, and I know that it's getting kind of harder to find it, so I'm glad I got it, and it's not like the platinum hits either. So I'm a big Halo fan, and I'm glad I got that. It'll be interesting to play that. So also to that, I used to have 360, then it red ringed on me back about 9 months ago, and so recently today, since I had a weekend off, I wasn't worried about grad school, I went and looked into getting it fixed, and it's only going to cost me $50 for this really nice video game store to fix it for me. So I went to a legitimate place. I didn't want to go on any shady Craigslist posts, but so I'm gonna get that fixed, and so I should be able to start playing some of these games that I'm collecting that I've found over the last few months, and I couldn't play them. So I'm looking forward to playing through some of these shooters. It's just fun to play shooters every once in a while, just mindless campaign games. But the strategy Halo Wars will be interesting too. So I got these last weekend, and I also picked up, I think, Wednesday. I was at my Goodwill, and the local Goodwill that I've recently moved for a new job back in August. And this Goodwill is terrible, but every so often I find like one game, and I found this on Wednesday, and it is Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, and I was surprised that it was there, because normally I don't find anything except for like VHS tapes, and some of the stuff just sits there for weeks. This was $2.99, and that's a decent price. I've seen games for $1.99 there too, but that's fair. I hope that it doesn't go any higher than that. I was at this weekend. I went to get some more games, and I planned out a trip to kind of like celebrate the fact that I'm done my grad school, and I went to travel to probably four. It was either 4 or 5 new Goodwills I've never been to before, and I had very little luck, but I found 2 games at one Goodwill that were pretty good and a little expensive, but went ahead and got them. Shadow of the Colossus, I was really happy that I saw that in the case, in the glass case. It obviously says $4.99 on there, and I wasn't really too mad to pay that, because it is in amazing shape. It's got like a really nice glossy finish. There's no scratches on the outside. It was well taken care of. No scratches on the disc. It's got all the manuals and everything, all the little paperwork and stuff. It just looks like hardly it was ever played. And then I also got Phantasy Star Universe. I've heard some good things about that. I wasn't really happy to pay $4.99 for that, but I just figured that it was probably owned by the same person. It's also in really nice shape. Looks like it basically just had the wrapping taken off and then played once and then donated. So $10 for both of those. I normally like to buy games for about $3, but I've never played these 2. I have Shadow of the Colossus, but it's still sealed, and I wanted to keep it sealed because I know it's a good game, and I wanted to get it. So now I have 2 copies of it, and I'm happy that I've found another copy. I also have Eco, where I have Eco sealed and a copy of Eco. So as a collector, I think that's awesome that I have 2 copies of both. Alright, so then I went to another Goodwill, and I did actually find another Goodwill game, and it's weird how like the Goodwill that I went to, they marked their games at $5. This Goodwill near my house marked it at $2.99, and then there's a Goodwill that I just randomly found, and they marked their games for $1.99. So I picked the second site up. I've heard some things about this that it's okay, so I picked it up for $1. I kind of remember seeing more information about it from GameCube, but I just went ahead and got it. I thought it would be a decent game to collect, and I'll try it, figure out what it's like. At a pawn shop that's local to my area in North Carolina, I got really lucky with this. I've been really hoping to find this, and I did at a really good price. It's a Super Nintendo game. It's Donkey Kong 3, and I got it for $4.99. And it's really hard to tell, but it is in really nice shape. There's nothing wrong with the labels. There's no marker or anything on it. And when I went to check out, the guy looked at the price, and he did a double take, and he's almost wondering if it was a mistake, because I went to another pawn shop later on today, and I saw the same exact game was marked for $22.99, at another pawn shop. So I mean, it was awesome to find it for $4.99, and now I have all three Donkey Kongs for the Super Nintendo, which is really awesome. And then since this is a franchise pawn shop, it's called Trade It. I went to another one, and they keep all their games like in these little plastic pouches, and I found another PlayStation 1 game that I'm really happy to get. I normally don't pay this much, but I got my car inspected today too, and I had no problems with my car. So normally I usually expect something to go wrong with my car, but fortunately I didn't have to pay more than $50. So I went ahead and got this for $9.99, and it's Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. It is also in really nice shape. I've come to just my new philosophy is that if the game's in really nice condition and I know it's going to be a good addition to my collection, it is okay to pay a little bit more. I'm getting sick and tired of paying $2 or $3 for a game and then it doesn't work, and just really is frustrating. So I went ahead and got this for $9.99, and I'm looking forward to trying this out. So now I have, for PlayStation 1, I have the first one, and then I have the third one, but then for the Nintendo 64, I have Resident Evil 2. I have Resident Evil 4 and 5. Now I just need to get some of the ones in between, like Code Veronica and some of the other spin-offs. I like Resident Evil. I think that it's pretty cool. I'll check out Resident Evil 6 once the price comes down. But going back to what I said about just being really frustrated with getting games and then they're not working, I've probably gotten maybe 4 or 5 GameCube games in the last 7 or 8 months that have not worked, and it's really frustrating me for the fact that it just pisses me off that, I mean, we went from having cartridges where you could leave a cartridge game outside for a few weeks in the rain, and you bring it back inside and it still probably would work. But I mean, these disc games, you get one scratch on them, depending on how bad the scratch is, the game is gone. It doesn't work, and it just makes me so frustrated. And I've bought some of these games hoping that they would work, and I got Paper Mario for the GameCube, Mario Sunshine for the GameCube, Wind Waker for the GameCube, all these decent GameCube games, and none of them worked. I got some old NESs from garage sales, and I basically gathered up all the things that I just can't use anymore, that just don't serve a purpose, they won't play. I don't need 2 NESs. So I gathered them up, and I went to the game store where I bought these 2 games, and I basically I traded them for some games, and they gave me $60 store credit. I had some other games that I traded to and that I didn't. I just didn't think I could sell them on eBay. I've been selling some games on eBay too, and I've had a lot of success with that. So I didn't want to sell scratch games on eBay and get myself into some trouble with that. So games like Smash Brothers Melee is another game that hardly works. Sometimes it'll give me an error screen, and sometimes it'll work. I think I had some PlayStation 2 games too. I had San Andreas, Jack 2. I basically just gathered them all up. There's probably maybe 10 or 12 games plus the 2 NESs. I think I gave them Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Emerald Green, and he gave me $60 for it. I wasn't really looking to haggle with him. I didn't care because I knew some of the games wouldn't work, so I felt like $60 was good. And so I got some really good games added to my collection that I normally wouldn't. I've been hoping to try to find, and it's nice to splurge. So first game I got, which I've really been looking for, and I'm glad I got it, he had it marked for $20. So out of my $60 trade-in value, I got Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and I was playing it earlier, and it brought me back to my youth. I remember playing that co-op with friends neighbors down the road, and we used to play this, and I remember playing Turtles in Time, and those are some awesome co-op games for the Super Nintendo. So, paid $20 trade for that, and then I also got a good edition, an NES game that I did not have. I got Contra, and that was also, he also had that for $20 as well. So, these are really high-priced games. I normally would never pay, $40 for these two total. So I'm glad I got them, because it is hard to find those out in the wild. And so I'm glad I got them. And then I also, so I had $60 total, so I got these two, and then I also got a new Zelda game to add to my collection, and that is the Four Swords Adventures for 20. He had that marked for $20 too. So glad I picked that up. I don't have any experience with this. I do like Zelda. I would say that Zelda series is probably one of my favorite games series to collect for, besides Mario and any Capcom game. I really am looking forward to playing this, and I hope that maybe Christmas Eve, like the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, I'll be spending my time playing Shadow of the Colossus, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Contra, Zelda the Four Swords Adventure, and then maybe if my 360 is working again, I'll be playing a couple of these. So, and I also want to play Donkey Kong 3 too as well. So it should be a nice few days here coming up before Christmas to, as far as relaxing and playing games. I haven't played games since like July and August, because my time has been just drained by reading books like this. This is like a 750-page book I had to read in. I think I had to read that in like 2 or 3 weeks, and it just was killing me. My master's is in history, so I just read tons and tons of books. Anyway, one other thing too before I finish this. I know the video is getting really long. I'm trying to sell some of my games, and I think some of these did sell on eBay, and I've had some luck finding games at yard sales. I just put them on eBay as lots. So like I just put these two, Zelda Mario, Star Fox Mario Kart Zelda, and just hoping for the best. I think that actually the one that went the most expensive was this one. I think I got like $35 for that. I think I got about $25 for that, and about $30 for that. So I mean, I've been doing well as far as finding games at yard sales, because these people don't know what their values are, and so I pick up. I think I got almost all 6 of these for like, I mean, not even like $5, and turn around and make like close to $80 or $90 is awesome. Trying to sell some NES games too. But anyway, so yeah, collection's going pretty well, and yeah, tell me what you think. Looking forward to playing some games again. Happy holidays, everyone. Later.